Are there any fillers that are permanent? There are fillers that are semi-permanent and relatively permanent, and then there are permanent fillers that aren't as frequently used. Some injectors will inject silicone, which is a permanent filler. That means it's there and it's there forever. For good and for bad, it's there forever. There are other fillers that are more widely used. These are semi-permanent fillers. These are thought of as permanent, semi-permanent, things like Bellafill and Artefill. And then you can consider fat as a permanent or semi-permanent filler. So there are things that you can use to replace volume and act as a filler that are permanent or pretty close to permanent. How long do permanent fillers last? This depends on what is used for the filler. I personally don't like to use permanent fillers because for good or for bad, that filler is there. There's not much you can do about it. And so it lasts forever if it's really permanent, but it still lasts forever. So if you don't necessarily like it, if it's a little too much, if it's lumpy, if you can see it, it is there forever. Forever permanent fillers would be silicone. There are still some people that inject silicone. This isn't very common, but you can still get it. There's injectables like Bellafill and Artefill that last a very long time. And then you can do fat transfer, which also lasts a very long time as well. Are permanent fillers safe? Most permanent fillers are safe. It depends on how it's injected. If these are injected in a way that is not clean, that is not sterile, that is not necessarily safe. And there is something that is now a permanent foreign body in your body. This is something that can get infected later. This is something that I've seen get inflamed later. You may be fine for a long time, and then all of a sudden something swells up around it. I've seen people have to go to the hospital and get IV antibiotics because they've had permanent fillers that got it infected for some reason or the other. So the filler itself, is it safe? Most of them, yes. Are there still things that can happen that make them unsafe? Yes. So this is why I steer away from permanent fillers, because I feel like we have so many other options that are better. There's long-lasting fillers that can be reversed if there's anything you don't love about it. There's fat repositioning, there's fat transfer. There are other things that are a lot safer than permanent fillers. When should permanent fillers be used? I personally don't use permanent fillers. I feel like there's so many other options that are better than permanent fillers. That's the other route or the way I'm gonna go, whether that's fat repositioning, fat transfer, implants. Those are actually safer than the permanent fillers. There's Alloderm that can be used. And then there's hyaluronic acid fillers that are longer lasting. So there's not an indication for me that I like to use permanent fillers. Other people may like to use these in people that want a long lasting injection and don't have fat to transfer. But there's a lot of technology and things that you can use without using permanent fillers. Can permanent fillers be removed? Not usually. The way that you inject fillers places that filler in different levels and different layers of the tissue. And so it's not like it's a singular thing that you can go in, make an incision, and take out. Are there little nodules and things like that that can be addressed and taken out? Sometimes, depending on where it is, how accessible it is it going to damage anything around it? So sometimes you can take it out, but a lot of times they are small little spherules that are within the muscle, within the skin, and you just can't go in and take all of those out. I have done things like lip reductions for people that have had silicone injected into their lips, and that is a way to address the lips, make them look better, make them look more natural, without actually having to take the filler out and do something that could possibly damage their lips. Have questions? I help people like you every day. Schedule a consultation at drangela.sturm.com. Thanks for watching.